See, I said water boy. That's like kind of.
No, he in the office.
If you know Post Malone, you know he's all about good vibes. So when he appeared on The Breakfast Club, you wouldn't have expected drama. But this is Charlamagne we're talking about. And drama somehow always finds its way into the conversation. Post came on to discuss his music and success, but things quickly took a personal turn. Charlamagne commented on Post's father, claiming he was just a water boy for the Dallas Cowboys.
You actually used to work for the organization.
What was he, water boy?
He still works for the organization. He's like head of concessions.
See, I said water boy. That's like kind of.
No, he in the office.
Right away, Post shut that down, explaining that his dad wasn't a water boy, but a respected concessions manager in charge of food distribution for the entire stadium. It was a mic drop moment, and honestly, you could tell Charlamagne wasn't ready for it.
He's in the office. He's in the office. Yeah, so we get free tickets. We get free chicken strips.
Free hot dogs.
It's good. Life is good.
So he owns the concession stand?
No, he's just he's the head manager.
Does he talk to Jerry ever?
Yeah.
But Charlamagne didn't stop there. Oh no, he decided to test Post even more by steering the conversation into racially charged waters. He tried baiting Post into saying the N-word while discussing music, specifically referencing the hit song Lean Back.
Whenever it came out. I just love the beat, and I did the Lean Back for my mom and all that shit.
Let me see if you can do it. Lean back. Hey.
You got the cholo.
Hey.
What are y'all doing?
Say my niggas don't dance.
Hey.
Just pull a head. Go ahead.
And do the rock away.
No, say what I just said. My niggas
I
don't
can't.
dance.
Y'all trying to get me in trouble.
Now you are a Caucasian rapper. You are a white rapper.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Are you white?
Post didn't take the bait. Instead, he flipped the script, keeping his responses calm and collected. It was like watching a masterclass in how to handle a tough interview without losing your cool.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
You could be Puerto Rican, transracial. We don't know.
Transracial?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
You know what transracial is?
No.
Never heard of Rachel Dolezal?
Oh, yeah. I seen that. That's wild.
White guy who identifies as black. It could be you. Maybe.
I identify.
And then came the culture vulture accusation. Charlamagne suggested that Post, as a white rapper, might be exploiting hip-hop for personal gain. That's a heavy accusation to throw at anyone, but Post handled it like a pro. He explained that he wasn't trying to be anyone he's not, he just loves music, hip-hop included. His answer was so genuine that it left little room for argument. Post wasn't there to prove himself to Charlamagne or anyone else. He was just being real about his passions and influences.
Afraid as a white rapper that you may be considered a culture vulture?
I don't think so. I'm not scared. I'm not scared because I'm not trying to be anybody that I'm not.
True indeed.
I'm just trying to, I like what I like.
The whole interview was a testament to Post Malone's ability to stay grounded under pressure. While Charlamagne poked and prodded, Post stayed respectful and honest, proving that you don't have to stoop to someone else's level to hold your ground. Then when he messed with Lil Mama didn't sit back and just take it.
One of my nicknames for you is the voice of the young struggle face.
What?
It's because you're young, but you have an old face. Like how Drake says, I'm really too young to be looking this old.
From the moment she sat down, Charlamagne's energy was less than welcoming.
Nah, to be feeling this old. People tell me I look 12, 13. They tell me I'm sexy.
I've never heard that.
He opened the interview by commenting on her appearance, calling her a young girl with an old face. Imagine walking into a room to discuss your career and being met with that kind of insult. It set the tone for an interview that would leave Lil Mama visibly hurt and the audience questioning Charlamagne's approach.
That's when I realized that you were delusional as hell. Because what made you feel like you could get up and go on stage with Alicia Keys and Jay-Z?
Throughout the conversation, Charlamagne didn't hold back. He brought up her career struggles, poked fun at her music, and even dredged up her infamous interruption of Jay-Z and Alicia Keys during the MTV Awards.
At the end of the day, I'm talented, and there's only one Lil Mama. So
there's one female right now that people actually care about.
That's popping.
That has generated interest. Like,
right.
I mean, you've only got one album. Nicki Minaj are like night and day. Like, I don't see any resemblance whatsoever. Other than the fact both of y'all are from New York.
Thank you.
Lil Mama tried to explain her side of things, expressing her love for hip-hop and the spontaneity of that moment. But Charlamagne wasn't interested in understanding her perspective. Instead, he seemed more focused on tearing her down than offering a platform for her to share her story.
That you were delusional as hell. Because what made you feel like you could get up and go on stage with Alicia Keys and Jay-Z?
I mean, like, ever since, like, just being a kid, like, you get your line when you get your line, but if you're a part of hip-hop and if you're a child of hip-hop, you're going to always be a part of hip-hop. An award show, you'll see people go on stage, or you'll see that energy and it'll be received. So maybe my love was...
Her voice carried the weight of someone who had fought battles far bigger than the music industry, but even in this vulnerable moment, Charlamagne continued to push. He threw in more jabs about her relevance in the industry, completely disregarding the emotional depth of what she had shared. It wasn't just unprofessional, it was downright cruel. Despite it all, Lil Mama held her head high, a testament to her strength and resilience.
Except for anybody. My actions will speak for itself. I know what it is.
I think you got a real story to tell.
Or you leave it.
I think you got a real story to tell, and I think you should tell it.
Person that's promoting that.
I'm not promoting
And you're
that.
supposed to be a person that's from my community, a hip hop community that's supposed to support the youth.
And people
but I'm
make
not
you out
focused
to
on
be a
the game.
caricature. Because right now you're like a caricature yourself.
Eventually, the pressure became too much and Lil Mama broke down in tears. But even in that vulnerable moment, she stood her ground, calling out Charlamagne for his behavior. She reminded him and everyone listening that as a figure in the hip-hop community, he had a responsibility to uplift young artists, not tear them down. This interview wasn't just a low point for Charlamagne. It was a reminder of the importance of empathy. Lil Mama showed incredible strength, turning her pain into a powerful stand for self-respect. Next up, we have Kanye West's intellectual pushback. Charlamagne has never shied away from challenging Kanye, and Kanye, being Kanye, never backs down. Right? One of their most talked about interviews was during the release of Yeezus.
More frustrated.
Do you not like the reception Jesus has gotten? Because I didn't like the album at all. And I was a Kanye West fan.
Yeah.
But Jesus was whack to me.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So what were you saying?
I was asking about the whole Yeezus, like, what makes you so frustrated?
Charlamagne didn't mince words, flat out saying he didn't like the album. While many artists might have taken offense, Kanye dismissed the critique with confidence. He simply said, "That's great," and moved on, showing that he wasn't there to validate anyone's opinion, least of all Charlamagne's.
So I know that anything is possible, and I know when they hold me down. My BS meter is at an all-time high.
Yeah,
you know
but what you accomplishing so much. What's so
man,
massive?
they want to hear. They want this man to throw them blows, man. That's what they waiting for. They waiting for Charlamagne to tap these gloves and go.
But Kanye didn't stop there. He used the platform to speak about his frustrations with the music industry, his aspirations, and his vision. He explained how major corporations like Nike had marginalized him, refusing to give him the creative freedom and royalties he deserved. For Kanye, Yeezus wasn't just an album. It was part of a much larger narrative about breaking free from corporate control. He passionately explained how the industry often stifled true artists and their innovative ideas. Kanye, as always, was unapologetic and fiercely determined to be true to himself and his artistic journey, no matter the consequences.
They said, okay, cool, Kanye, you've been screaming up and down, we're going to give you a deal for Yeezy, finally. Because they was marginalizing me, let me only design 2 shoes over a 5-year period. People talking about the Red October, that's the design for 3 years ago. You know how many ideas I got? You know what I'm saying? So they try to marginalize me, and then they say, look, we're going to give you $4 million a year to design this. I said, what about royalties? They said, look, you know, you're not a professional athlete, so you don't get no royalties. I said, look, man, I go to any of these arenas and play one on nobody. I'm a performance athlete, and more than being an athlete, I'm Walt. I'm like Howard Hughes. I'm like David Stern. I'm like Steve Jobs. If anything, that's a compliment to them. I'm like Michelangelo.
Of course, Charlamagne wasn't going to let Kanye off easy. He accused Kanye of being a walking contradiction, criticizing corporations while still choosing to collaborate with them. But Kanye, ever the philosopher, flipped the script on Charlamagne. He explained that his partnerships with these corporations weren't about selling out, but were strategic moves to gain leverage and resources, something he felt was necessary to achieve greater change. Kanye pointed out how his actions were often misunderstood, but he didn't back down from them.
You know what I'm saying? And now it's only one Kanye West, and I'm just like Steve.
Why do you talk so much about money nowadays, man? I used to look at you as like a real revolutionary. You know, real revolutionaries didn't need money to change the world. Malcolm X wasn't rich. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't rich. Like, I don't understand why everything is so much about money and stuff to you now.
Waste at this point, because I'm telling you.
You already got it. You don't need to own something to have a voice. Yeah, you had a voice when you got on stage and you then said George Bush don't care about black people. You was using your voice. You don't need money to have a voice.
I could use my voice, but what happened if y'all don't buy no other albums? Then that voice, people gonna say, oh, he like Arsenio Hall, and he was turning up too much, and now you fired.
Then came one of the most subtle but powerful moments of the entire interview. Charlamagne called Kanye narcissistic, a jab that many would have taken to heart. But Kanye, with the same smooth confidence he's known for, responded by pointing out the irony in Charlamagne's persona. "You call yourself the God," Kanye said, referencing Charlamagne's nickname, highlighting the hypocrisy in his critique. It was a perfect clapback, delivered so smoothly that it almost flew under the radar. Yet it left Charlamagne momentarily speechless, forcing him to question his own words. It was a masterclass in intellectual pushback.
You know what makes me buy your albums? The great music you produce. You know what makes me not buy your albums? This new narcissistic, egotistical personality you got. That's what turns me off. It makes me say, I'm not going to this show. I don't want him rant. I don't want to buy his records.
Exactly, but I'm thinking that your last name is the God, right?
Absolutely.
So anybody that's a God can recognize a God. Jesus can recognize.
What made this interview stand out wasn't just Kanye's ability to counter Charlamagne's arguments, but the way he steered the conversation. He was always 2 steps ahead, using the platform not to defend himself, but to share his vision. Say what you want about Kanye, but his intellect and charisma are undeniable. If you thought that was bad, wait till you see Lil Yachty's direct response.
You are the poster child
Exactly.
for whack rappers. If they want to say somebody whack, they say you.
Their interactions on The Breakfast Club have been tense, to say the least. Charlamagne once labeled Yachty as the poster child for whack rappers, a statement that went viral and followed Yachty everywhere. For most young artists, that kind of label could be crushing, but Yachty handled it with surprising composure.
Might as well. They rock with me on this album.
I think they connect with y'all for different reasons. Like you be playing video games with them and chatting with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. That's exactly true.
And you and Takeoff still doing a compilation album? I mean, a collaboration album together?
When Yachty returned to The Breakfast Club, it was clear right from the start that he wasn't there for small talk. You could almost feel his frustration in the air, but he didn't let it spill over into anger. Instead, he calmly addressed Charlamagne's digs with a quiet intensity. He made it crystal clear that he wasn't trying to be the next Nas or Jay-Z, as those comparisons often came his way. His music was for a different generation with a different vibe. Let the kids be kids, Yachty said, emphasizing that his audience connected with him for reasons beyond traditional hip-hop metrics.
Yo, that's a different type of pressure.
You kind of a superhero to these people, these kids, though. Because you got to do things charity-wise and, you know.
You don't got to do anything, but choose to.
Yeah.
Charlamagne, being his usual self, tried to backtrack, claiming that his earlier comments were taken out of context. But Yachty wasn't going to let him off the hook that easily. He reminded Charlamagne of his exact words, calling him out for labeling him as the poster child for whack rappers. Yachty even called out Charlamagne for siding with other critics, like Joe Budden, who also trashed his music. It was a bold move, considering the pressure Yachty must have felt in that moment. But he kept his cool and didn't let the negativity shake his confidence. Instead of getting defensive or aggressive, he focused on his craft and the love his fans had for his music, knowing that his success spoke for itself.
I've never came at Yachty.
When? You and Joe Budden, I saw that video. You know,
I told
I
Joe.
let it go.
I told Joe verbatim.
I let it go.
I told Joe you cannot hate on Lil Yachty.
You said he was the face of something.
No.
You did last time.
Yeah, because like I told you earlier, you are the poster child
Exactly.
for whack rappers. If they want to say somebody whack, they say you.
You're not the poster child
Yes,
for
he
whack
is.
rapper.
It happens.
Rapper.
No. It happens every few years. It was Trinidad James at one point.
Whoa, that's what I meant.
No, I'm just saying as far as being the poster child for when people want to say what's wrong with hip hop.
So who had it before me?
Before you, Trinidad. But my point is, it doesn't matter. It's a generational thing.
Well, of course it doesn't matter, but just to sit here and hear you.
Why do y'all always take that out of context?
That blew me, bro. You know that blew me? You know people bring that up all the time, bro.
You knew what I was saying, though.
Charlamagne said.
And that was wrong. I was saying that's how people perceive you.
By the end of the exchange, it was clear who had the upper hand. Yachty wasn't there to argue or explain himself to Charlamagne. He had already made his point. His music had a place, and it wasn't for everyone, nor did it need to be. He was carving out his lane, and nothing could shake that foundation. What stood out most in these exchanges was Yachty's maturity. He didn't get defensive or angry. Instead, he stuck to his truth. He knew who he was and who his music was for, and he wasn't about to let anyone, not even Charlamagne, define him. It was a masterclass in how to handle criticism with grace while staying true to yourself. And then we master P's demand for respect.
How did you set up promotion for your projects? Y'all was dropping. It was a time when No Limit was dropping every week. It was a No Limit product in stores every week.
Master P's interview on The Breakfast Club wasn't just memorable, it was a lesson in dignity and respect. From the start, Master P came across as calm but firm, the kind of person who doesn't let things slide. So when Charlamagne made a disrespectful comment about Mercedes, a close associate of Master P, you could see the energy shift. Charlamagne joked about Mercedes' physical appearance instead of focusing on her contributions to No Limit Records, and Master P wasn't having any of it.
Time when No Limit was dropping every week. It was a No Limit product installed every week. Except for Mercedes. We never saw that, and I always wanted to see that because she had a fat ass.
Yeah, see that, bro. Hold up, man. Don't talk about Mercedes.
Oh,
like
my bad.
that.
I ain't know she
That is so disrespectful.
With a quiet intensity, Master P reminded Charlamagne that Mercedes was more than just her looks, she was family. And in Master P's world, family is sacred and off limits. He wasn't about to let anyone disrespect someone close to him, especially not on live radio. I wouldn't talk about your sister or your mother, so don't talk about mine, he said, his voice calm but firm. It was a simple statement, but the weight behind it was undeniable. Master P wasn't just defending Mercedes, he was making a larger point about respect, boundaries, and the importance of protecting loved ones.
No, okay, unless you was going to the record.
Nah, let's go back to this, dog.
Okay.
Let's respect, because I'm not going to talk about your sister, your mom, or nothing.
Got you.
You know, we need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first thing, because I know you do your radio thing, and I respect that, but at the same time, Mercedes she a female.
Oh,
She
my
ain't-
fault.
she ain't
Yeah,
my-
you
know what
right.
I'm saying?
But she did look good on that cover, though.
Yeah, she look good. That's your opinion. But, you know, it's about that Zay's beat, right?
What made this moment so impactful was how Master P handled it. He didn't raise his voice or get aggressive, which is what many people might expect in a confrontation. Instead, he spoke with the kind of authority that comes from years of experience, having seen and endured plenty in his career. His words carried the wisdom of someone who understands the value of dignity, especially when it comes to the people who matter most. By keeping his cool and standing his ground, he showed Charlamagne that some lines are simply not meant to be crossed. Master P even used the opportunity to school Charlamagne on the importance of respecting women, not just in interviews, but in general. He pointed out how easy it was to tear someone down with words, but how important it was to uplift and support people, especially women, who were working hard in the industry. It was a powerful lesson, not just for Charlamagne, but for everyone watching. In that moment, Master P didn't just defend his family, he set an example of strength, respect, and leadership. And Master P wasn't the only one asking for respect. There's also Birdman's iconic respect moment.
I want to start this shit off straight, telling all three of y'all stop playing with my name.
Let's go on there. Let's go.
Stop playing with my name.
This legendary moment comes straight from Birdman's unforgettable interview on The Breakfast Club. Well, calling it an interview is a bit of a stretch because it was more like a showdown. Birdman walked into the studio with an entourage, setting the tone right away. Before anyone could even offer him coffee or ask about his latest project, Birdman confronted Charlamagne and the co-hosts.
Let's do it on camera.
Stop playing with my name. I
Let's
ain't
go
gonna
right
say it
on
no
in.
more. My name, come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it.
He didn't waste time with pleasantries. Birdman walked into the Breakfast Club studio, looked directly at Charlamagne, and demanded, "Stop playing with my name." The intensity in the room was undeniable. You could feel the tension through the screen. Birdman wasn't there to engage in a back and forth or defend himself. He was there for one thing and one thing only, respect. And he wasn't going to leave until he got it. The message was clear. This wasn't just an interview, it was a demand for the respect he felt he deserved.
Tell him, get it off your chest, Birdman.
Said it already. I ain't gotta talk no more.
Cause I don't understand the angle. Like what?
Said it already.
So why come here?
I did it already. I'm here. So what's happening?
I mean, it's all good, but I'm saying
here.
why?
And I'm here. What's happening?
I'm all good, but I'm
Well,
saying
just
why
say
come
that,
here
man.
just
Look,
to
I'm
curse
here.
us
What's
up?
happening, man? I wanted to see you. I wanted to talk to you and your man in your face.
Absolutely.
You understand me? I knew a few places you was at. I could have pulled up, but I don't think that was gangster. I wanted to come look you in your face like a man and tell you how I feel.
Okay.
You understand me? Straight up like a man.
So what's
No
the
shit,
issue?
no sugar. Ain't no issue. If it was an issue, you'll feel me. I just come to let y'all know, stop, put some respect on my name.
What made this moment so electrifying was the rawness and the authenticity with which Birdman approached the situation. He didn't sugarcoat his feelings or try to soften the blow. He didn't walk into that room looking for a casual chat. Instead, he was firm and unapologetic. Birdman even admitted that he had considered pulling up on Charlamagne outside of the studio, but decided that, out of respect, he would handle things face to face. It was a testament to his level of maturity and control, something we don't always associate with the tough persona he's known for in the industry.
I want to start this shit off straight, telling all three of y'all stop playing with my name.
Let's go on there. Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name.
Charlamagne, ever the instigator, tried to pivot by asking Birdman if he had confronted others who had criticized him like Rick Ross or Trick Daddy, but Birdman wasn't interested in discussing his past or justifying his actions. He wasn't there to explain himself to Charlamagne or anyone else. Instead, Birdman dropped the now iconic line, "Put some respect on my name." In just a few words, he demanded not only respect for himself, but for his legacy and the empire he built. The energy in that room shifted instantly. Birdman wasn't just talking, he was making a statement.
Done. I ain't got no more talking. Let's rock.
All right.
All right, Buck.
And just like that, the confrontation was over. Birdman stood up, told the crew he was done talking, and walked out. The interview, if you can call it that, lasted less than 2 minutes, but its impact was massive. Memes, remixes, and debates flooded the internet. It was the ultimate power move, a lesson in standing your ground without overstaying your welcome. Birdman reminded everyone that sometimes demanding respect is more powerful than trying to earn it. Which brings us to Beanie Sigel's no-nonsense approach.
You sounding like a hater lately, man.
A hater?
Yeah.
How you say that? A hater?
Cause I feel like, you know, you put out 2 diss records, but then you was in the studio with me like 8 days prior to the first diss record, and I'm like, if anybody else did that, I think you'd be saying that was a sucker move.
Now, Beanie Sigel's interview on The Breakfast Club wasn't just another promo stop, it was a masterclass in shutting down nonsense. From the moment he sat down, it was clear that Beanie wasn't in the mood for Charlamagne's usual antics. Things got heated quickly when Charlamagne accused Beanie of being disloyal, referencing his beef with Meek Mill and The Game. Beanie didn't take kindly to being labeled a hater and immediately fired back, questioning Charlamagne's understanding of the situation.
The whole situation seemed shaky. I know you say I'm not qualified to speak on it. I'm just observing it, but it just seemed like, you know, loyalty with you lies with who's providing you opportunity.
Hey, Charlamagne, man. Provide me, what loyalty, with who? He ain't provide me no opportunity. He ain't called me and asked me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I walked into, Meek wasn't even there. It was just O'Malley in the studio.
Oh, so
how?
Meek called you to the studio?
No.
Meek called you to the studio?
No.
Charlamagne's accusations didn't stop there. He dug into Beanie's integrity, suggesting that he couldn't be trusted. But Beanie wasn't having it. He shared stories of his unwavering loyalty to people like Kanye West, even taking risks that could have landed him in jail. Beanie made it clear that he wasn't about to let Charlamagne or anyone else question his character without knowing the full story.
Yeah.
Well, do you think things are ever truly the same once you do that? Because people look at you like, I don't know if I can trust Beanie.
How? How you can't trust me?
Because it seems like you just flip.
How you can't trust me? I'm a man about mine.
Like, it's hard to trust somebody. Like I said, you know I keep going back to this, but it's true. You was in the studio with me 8 days prior.
Did we or did not just answer that?
But you knew he wasn't real. You said he wasn't. You didn't think he was real when you was in the studio with him.
All right, put it like this. Is Kanye a street?
Absolutely not.
Huh?
Absolutely.
But when Kanye put that phone call in, you know the stories. Who was there? And he ain't a street, but he part of that thing of ours.
Mm-hmm.
So I took penitentiary chances. He put the call in, I was there, strapped tooth to nail. Cause he a part of our family. You understand what I'm saying?
Now, for people that don't know,
how you don't understand? Because you know why? Because you not from that cloth.
One of the most powerful moments came when Beanie called Charlamagne out for his behavior toward other artists like Lil Mama. Beanie labeled him a character and accused him of picking on people who couldn't fight back. "You made that little girl cry," Beanie said, referencing Lil Mama's emotional interview. "You're a coward." It was a brutal but honest critique of Charlamagne's interviewing style, and it left the room in silence.
How do y'all pretend to? Like, that's
Cause you a character. That's why.
It's the truth, though.
You a character.
Life's too short to be wasting your time with suckers or people you think is suckers.
So why I'm here then? Cause I think you're a sucker. So I should be out, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, that's me personally. I wouldn't sit there and have a conversation with a sucker.
Yeah, you'll sit here and you'll bash a little girl, Lil Mama, till she cry. That's what you do. Coward.
Talking to each other now. I tell you that I think you're a hypocrite.
You could think what you want to think.
And I think you be coming off as a hater sometimes.
You could think what you want to think.
So now, what's next with
I could say, I think you're a bitch. You let Fredro Starr and them check you, but you made that little girl cry.
They make her cry, but
That's you, Dad. That's you, Dad.
Even as Charlamagne tried to defend himself, Beanie wasn't interested in playing along. He redirected his attention to DJ Envy, essentially ignoring Charlamagne for the rest of the interview. It was a power move that highlighted Beanie's refusal to entertain negativity. By the end of the interview, Beanie had made his point loud and clear. He wasn't there to be disrespected or to prove himself to anyone. He left the audience with a powerful reminder that standing up for your integrity is always worth it no matter who's sitting across from you.